Hello, my name is David Fish. I volunteered to do this short video testimonial for Debbie and Andrew because I had a fabulous time in Lucca in July 2012. As such, I'm happy to encourage others to hopefully do something similar. A bit about me first. I'm retired after a good career in local government social care. I got into classical music via my father and listened to his collection of records while studying for my A-levels, and it just grew from there. I don't do any of the technicalities associated with music or play any instruments, just enjoy listening to it, usually via Classic FM or my CD collection. One of the things I had always promised to do was go and see some opera in Italy, but my wife wasn't an opera fan, so I had never bothered. With the change in circumstances and seeing the advert in the oldie, I decided that now was the right time to treat myself, even though I was rather nervous about going off on an organised trip as a singleton. My two favourite operas were on offer in one of the holidays based in Lucca, Tosca and Madame Butterfly, so that clinched it. At the time I thought it was a little pricey, but after a little procrastination decided I was worth it. Some nice chatty correspondence from Debbie followed on the best options for travel, etc., and these set the standard for the actual holiday. I organised a cheap flight from Luton to Pisa, caught the airport bus to Lucca, very cheap and a pleasant hour's trip, meandering around the countryside, was met at the bus station by Debbie and her lovely friend Christine. The hotel was just a short walk away, very well located for all the many delights that Lucca has to offer, and the room was of a good standard with a comfortable bed, so things got off to a good start. I had two worries about the holiday. Was I going to be over-organised? What were the other people going to be like? These worries were to disappear very quickly on going down for a welcome drink with the other guests, where I also met Andrew and his charming wife Jane. The other guests were all very different characters with mixed levels of interest in opera and music, but clearly enthusiastic, and with both singletons and couples there was a good mix in the group. Debbie made it clear that you could opt into or out of any of the activities she was going to organise, including eating out, but being on my own I decided to opt into everything, as there was a good balance between organised and free time. Not everyone did that, with couples preferring to go off independently for meals and to enjoy the free time that we had. The sightseeing tour was very interesting, giving you a good understanding of the town layout and history. The trip to the Fattoria was a great day, with plenty of very good and varied Italian wine and food, allowing everyone's taste to be satisfied. One of the guests was quite elderly, and some of us agreed to take him on a pedal-driven buggy ride in a very loose convoy around the town walls, an experience not to be missed, and in our case, unforgettably funny. Of course, the prime purpose of the trip was to see and hear the operas, and on those days we started the day after breakfast with a talk by Andrew, who would set the scene in terms of the composer, the storyline and key musical moments. You may have already seen excerpts from some of these on the website. These certainly add to the experience and shouldn't be missed, whatever your level of understanding of the operas you're going to see. The first night's opera was Tosca, and was the opening night of the season at Torre dell'Algo, so the Italians were even more smartly dressed than usual. What a lovely location. It was easy to see why Puccini loved it so much, particularly as we were lucky enough to have a beautiful sunset that evening. It is a big stage, and that grand scale continues with the performances of the key characters. With great seats we were able to enjoy it all, and then discuss the costumes, voices, storylines and the rest of the audience to our heart's content, both at the interval on the way back to the hotel in the minibus. The second opera was Madame Butterfly, with a minimalistic stage set, which we all agreed worked surprisingly well in the end. Another good set of singers, the audience a little more casually dressed, but just as much to discuss. Earlier we had managed a visit to Puccini's house, very evocative with all the memorabilia from his time composing and enjoying life to the full. After having taken a little while to get to know each other, it was clear that the group had gelled, and we all stayed up enjoying the warm night air after the opera, despite some having to get off to the airport quite early that next morning. Fond farewells and best wishes, promises to share photos, etc., and I was off back on the bus for an uneventful trip back to the airport and on back up to Nottingham. So 3 things to consider in determining whether to go on a tour. You get what you pay for, actually good value for money. You will get as much friendly and expert assistance on all aspects of the tour as you want. You will bring back lots of really good memories that will last your lifetime. I can unreservedly recommend the company to you for an experience you will never forget. Just enjoy.
Switch off.